Hi and welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. This is a B-movie review and I'll be having a look at the movie Stranded. So this is going to have a few spoilers in this review because I do want to talk about the end of this film. So if you haven't seen it yet, I suggest watching it before watching this review. So Stranded stars Christian Slater as one of four crew of a moon base. And then earlier in the film they see there's a kind of violent storm with meteors coming down and damages a lot of the base, cuts off communication with Earth and damages a lot of their systems. And they're in kind of dire straits because a lot of their sort of life support systems are damaged and stuff like this. So they're sort of struggling around to sort of try and fix everything. The matters are made worse, however, when one of the meteorites appears to have some sort of alien sort of spore inside, and they take it back to the sort of lab part and have a sort of dissect of it. And one of the crew actually gets, the female actually gets infected. Now that we're sort of told in some sort of very obvious foreshadowing that because of this damage, some sort of chemicals and gases and stuff are released into the sort of atmosphere, and people may start hallucinating and things like that. So you know very well that exactly what's going to be happening in regards to people saying they've seen aliens and what have you, and other people not believing them. So you know that's coming way off it. So sure enough, obviously this woman finds out a little bit later she's somehow pregnant, and of course, all these people being, you would imagine, relatively well educated, if they're working in a moon base, they can't sort of, it must be some sort of growth, even though she was not pregnant. It was just a very short time ago. And no one sort of really sort of questions too much where it sort of come from, in a bit of a stupid turn of events. There you go. So sure enough, she gives birth violently, I have to say, and out sort of shoots this kind of like little alien baby. In one quite disturbing scene, she sort of passed out and it's suckling on her boob. That's probably the most sort of horror scene you'll get out of this film. Now, when they actually sort of come in to investigate, obviously there's blood everywhere. She's sort of on the floor, and this kind of like little alien baby thing actually bites one of the other crew members on the leg, and thus he gets sort of infected as well. Yet still the other two members don't, and one of them is a doctor, actually, I have to point out. Still doesn't really understand what's going on and kind of just passes it off as, some unknown, but they're not going to look into it. The guy who gets bit sort of sees the baby, but they just sort of like poo-poo it to sort of, it must be sort of, poisoning from the gases and stuff like that. This baby sort of grows up to be sort of this kind of alien hybrid, I suppose, but it just looks human ultimately at this point for a bunch of reasons, I would assume. And actually takes the form of the guy called Bruce, who he bit, and he sort of starts degenerating with some sort of alien disease or whatever, and ends up, I think, committing suicide. I'm not 100% sure if he was killed or commits suicide. We're not actually shown that, but we've shown he was thinking about committing suicide, but I don't actually know whether he did or not. Anyway, so this sort of alien decides he's going to clone himself to make him look exactly like this guy he's just killed. But I thought, well, if he's going to clone himself, surely he's going to have like a beard and stuff. But no, he's clean shaven, so obviously he's learned how to shave and things like that and do his hair, whatever. There you go. You know where this review's going, don't you? So anyway, so finally the sort of the rest of the surviving crew ultimately find out that yes, there is an alien life, and have to sort of scramble to try and escape. This sort of aliens exhibit some sort of intelligence, really, and decides he wants to get in this escape pod before the survivors, and a big chase at the end, and ultimately you've got the alien gets away in the little sort of space pod and goes back down to Earth. Now I've kind of simplified the plot pretty much there, but I kind of want to talk about some of the issues that I have with this film without dragging on the plot too much. So you probably can tell by my tone, I wasn't overly impressed. Now, I have to say it started fairly well. I wasn't going to watch this film, to be honest with you, but I thought it actually started pretty well. It's obviously a low budget film, but I thought the actual the effect shot of the storm and the stuff like that looked reasonably well. It does have a kind of a made for TV look about it, I would say. But you've got Christian Slater on it, obviously fairly established actor, and Brendan Fuhr, I think his name is, again. He's been in a few stuff. So there's only really four casts in this. So two out of the four casts I sort of recognised. So not bad in regards to sort of acting ability, I'd have to say. But the problem is here, this film is very, very predictable, and there's a lot of foreshadowing and very sort of stupid things happen and stupid decisions. There's stuff like this woman gets affected by the beginning by getting her finger cut on this alien spore, but she doesn't tell anyone. No. She just keep it to a secret. And if you were a scientist, you wouldn't just keep it a secret. You would tell people. The second guy who gets sort of attacked, he gets bitten by this kind of mutant baby thing, and the ship's doctor looks at the wound and says, "Oh, it must have cut it on glass." And I'm sure, okay, it's an alien mouth, but surely you can tell a bite mark from glass cuts. Oh, it was just stupid and things like this. And there's lots of moments where you've kind of got these very, very sort of dumb decisions, and it's very, very predictable. Until the very, very end, the alien just looks like the clone version of this Bruce character. It just looks human, so it's not particularly, not a particularly exciting alien. We're not really told, what he does, because in one sort of scene, he gets sort of locked in this airlock, and they sort of open the airlock, and they think they got rid of him, but he's still there. So is he super strong? We don't know. He doesn't appear to have any sort of super strength anywhere else in the film. But how did he sort of not get sucked out the airlock? We just don't know. Then another guy goes in and gets sucked out straight away. So, there you go. And I have to talk about the end, as I say. So, the very end of this film, there's the alien kind of gets in the escape pod before the sort of the remaining crew are able to, and sort of jets off to Earth. And we're sort of told that there's a rescue party, and we sort of see them landing to sort of try and help the other sort of the two remaining crew members. And they're sort of told, "Oh, we're gonna try and make a run for it," but we don't really know what happened to them. It doesn't really. The film sort of ends before we really know. The film pretty much ends with a sort of transmissions to the sort of back to Earth, and they finally get the comms working back again, sort of saying, "Oh, there's an alien on the way to Earth or whatever. Make sure you kill it." And the final shot really is this sort of alien lurking in the shadows, and he's kind of metamorphosed into this almost like a predator sort of / a witch. There you go. So, not a great film, to be honest with you. I think it started off fairly well, but it kind of soon degenerated into just lots of cliches, lots of dumb decisions, lots of very sort of bad logic and things like that. So unfortunately, my expectations sort of plummeted along with the quality of this film, unfortunately. So I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 10. Have you seen it? Let me know what you're thinking. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.